Hi guys, today I'm going to be doing a tag video. It's the social anxiety tag, and I'll link the channel below. I found this at Like Kristen's channel. She actually created the tag. I'm also going to link a few people that I know that did the tag, Lisa Emerald and Jamie 1982. Okay guys, it is 6 questions, and question number 1, when did you know you had social anxiety? I think it's been probably about 10 years that I've sort of identified it as social anxiety. Before that, like even as a child, I was always called shy and quiet. Like the teachers at the end of the year, the report card, they would always fill out a few paragraphs sort of just talking about how I was overall. And they always, every single teacher, shy and quiet. So that is, one big thing. And I can remember being nervous as a kid and, yeah, just anxiety. But then I didn't actually know what it was. Like, just the fact that I was labeled as shy, I just sort of accepted that. But as I got older, probably in my late 20s is when it got a lot worse, and I started actually reading about things, and I didn't even know social anxiety kind of existed. I knew anxiety, but not social, and I didn't really know what it was. So I learned about it, and yeah, I was diagnosed with it as well. Within, I don't know, yeah, probably 8 years ago, something like that. Okay, question number 2, what are some situations that trigger your social anxiety? So many things. Like, for one, just leaving the house, going out into the world knowing that socializing is probably going to happen. That right there. There are some days that are better than others, and some days that are way worse than others. Depends on the situation, depends on how I'm doing kind of overall in my life, and I guess it just depends on a lot of different things. But here's some examples that really stress me out. Would be standing in line, and then when you actually get to the cashier to cash out, and you know how they take a while, and you just stand there, and then there's people in line like behind you, and you're standing facing the cash register, so you're like sideways, kind of, you can see the line, and it's just that I don't know what to do with myself. It's so awkward. And then obviously any social situation, larger groups, or actually more than 1 or 2 people, is stressful for me. They can be total strangers, but sometimes strangers are easier to deal with than people you know. I don't know why. It's just part of it, I guess. It is for me anyways. Like family and friends. I love my family. I love my friends. But it very much makes my anxiety very bad. Not all the time, but most times. And I don't know if confidence, like I have other issues, like low self-confidence a lot of the time. Actually, I feel kind of confident, but when I'm in a situation that I have the social anxiety, it's almost like all of a sudden I'm not confident at all. And then I get insecure, obviously, but I feel like I'm not good enough, and I just kind of have that feeling like everyone's way better than me, and they know it, and they know I'm not good enough, and so I have that in my head, which makes my anxiety awful. So yeah, I think that, yeah, like I said, I love my family and friends, but for some reason, that's just kind of what happens with me when I'm interacting with them in person. Okay, number 3, what does it feel like to have social anxiety? Probably all the things other people express, fast heartbeat, kind of shortness of breath, shaky. But there's also that, like I said, the insecurity. You feel insecure, you feel not good enough, you feel like you look awful, you feel like you must be looking awkward. And when you're talking with someone, you feel like you say stupid things, like you either you don't make sense or you're not interacting socially the way other people do. You're just assuming all these things. And when you're actually talking with someone, like when they're talking, and if, say they're saying a couple sentences or a paragraph, like they're going on for a little bit talking, you don't know where to look. Like you look at their eyes, and like I'm good at giving people eye contact, but I have this thing where if I look away, like I feel like I really want to look away, even if it's just for a second, because it's crazy just staring at them while they're talking. But then again, when I try and look away, I can't look away because I'm thinking, that's rude. They're going to think I don't care about what they're saying if I look away. It's just a big disaster. And then, of course, with all that going on in my head, I'm not even paying attention to what they're saying, and I'm not truly in the moment, and I hate that. And then I feel like they must sense that, and then they're looking at me like I'm weird. It's just a big mess. That's basically what it feels like for me anyways. Another thing to tell you is there have been a few times where, like, I wear my eyeglasses sometimes, and there's been a few times where I've been wearing them and in a social situation, and my anxiety was so bad, it wasn't even hot, like it wasn't even a warm temperature, but my body heat or whatever, I got so stressed out that I just was sweating that my eyeglasses fogged up. It's ridiculous, and that was so embarrassing. And I know my face gets red, like I have rosacea on my cheeks, so I kind of always have rosy cheeks no matter what, but they turn beet red. So, yeah. Okay, next question. Number 4, what are some coping skills that help your social anxiety? I don't know. To be honest, it's kind of like avoiding. I just avoid it. That's how I cope. I avoid as much as I can, and when I have to, be in a situation, I do my best to prepare. Like, have the day I have to go somewhere or whatever it is, I make sure that everything's prepared, what I'm wearing, the time schedule of getting ready, just every detail, because on the day I'm so stressed out and I have so much anxiety. That's the big thing too, is anticipating the event or the meeting or whatever it is you're going to. The anticipation is like a week for me. Like from when the appointment or the date is made, it's there in my head constantly, and it's like this thing hanging over me, knowing it's like doom, like knowing eventually this day is gonna come and I'm gonna have to do this. And then of course the days before the event or date, I'm a mess. I'm a complete mess. And of course the night before I'm really bad, but the day of usually it's brutal. It's so brutal that you get so stressed out and your anxiety is so high for so long that you're exhausted by it, and you just want to curl up in a ball and hide under a blanket and just cry. It's so hard. It's so difficult. I think of all my illnesses that I have, I know depression is really hard, but the anxiety is just paralyzing. Yeah, I don't know. Just talking about it, it reminds you of how hard it is. And then, of course, those times where you deal with it when it's really, really bad, you just shake your head and be like, you just wonder, why? Why is this so hard? And I can't believe this is my life, Number 5. Have you ever had treatment, therapy, or medication for your social anxiety? medication wise, I take an antidepressant, which is for the depression. The doctor has mentioned that it has some effect on anxiety. To me, it's never helped my anxiety. And then, of course, the common medication for that is benzodiazepines like lorazepam and that kind of thing. But they are addictive. I've never taken them. My doctors never prescribed them to me. And I'm okay with that because I know they're addictive, and basically you take the pill and within half an hour you're relaxed and you're good for the day type thing. But for some reason, even if I did have them, I know I might take them if it was really bad, but I just don't want to rely on that because I just feel like I should be dealing with it on my own. I know that's strange because with the depression I take medication for it willingly, but with that one, because it's addictive, I don't know. I don't know. As for therapy or counseling, I've definitely had that over the years, now and then in little spurts, but to be honest, the last, I don't know how many years, 5 or more, I haven't, just because it requires me to go to an appointment and leave the house, and like I mentioned in the last few questions, that's super duper hard for me, so I avoid it. Although I'm doing my best to get some kind of therapy online. There is a therapist, Katie Morton. She's amazing. She does videos all through the week, and they're very helpful. So at least I'm getting something, but I don't know if there's going to be a day where I can do that and be consistent with it and just get through the anxiety. I hope so. I really do, but I don't know. Number 6, here's the last question. What are some misconceptions about social anxiety that you want to change? I think I'm going to just focus on one thing because I could answer quite a bit to this question. I think as for family and friends, like people that know you, like even if they know you deal with anxiety, there are some people that I don't think it matters to them, or they either don't understand it or think it's a word that doesn't mean much, because obviously that prevents me from being social, and it's hard for me. So if I don't go out with them, or if I have to cancel something because it's too much for me, instead of getting understanding and compassion, I kind of get people like, they just don't understand. They I don't know, they get mad, like they feel like oh, like they're disappointed, I guess that's the word. But it's upsetting because I want to go if I could, like, and that's where that whole thing comes in, where if I was strong enough, could I do it? Is it my fault that I can't do it? Like, I hate blaming myself for that, because I need to be smart and realize that, I love them. If I could do it, I would. And I have in the past, just my anxiety's gotten a lot worse where I can't right now, at the moment. It's hard to know if it's your fault or if it's the illness. I don't know if I'm going to struggle with that the rest of my life, times where I just completely blame myself, feel like it's because I'm not good enough and I can't get past this. Or, of course, there are times when I'm like, it's the illness, just give yourself a break, stop beating yourself up, it's not good, it's not good for you. So, it's tough. And that's with any mental illness. You totally go through that, where you blame yourself, but then you have to remind yourself it's an illness. If you had another illness, you wouldn't be blaming yourself if it was like a physical illness. You might, to a point, it's part of it, I guess. Yeah, I guess I can't judge that. I don't know. It could be that for everybody who has an illness, maybe that's kind of, they do blame themselves to a point. I don't know. But is something I definitely struggle with. Alright guys, that's it. I'm going to put the questions down below in case anyone has social anxiety. If you want to do this tag, and even if you don't do videos, do what I do. Like, there's a lot of times I just do audio where I just talk like this and I'm not even on camera, you know. It's a lot easier. But that is a goal I have, is to be on camera more. And I feel like I'm starting to get there. Like, I am growing. I really am. I'm growing. It's taking time, but I think I am. And I really hope that I can look back and know that, you know, I can live more of a normal life. Maybe that word normal, I don't know. I can live a life that a lot of people live. You know, just those things people take for granted, like walking out their front door, going to the store, all those things. I want them to be easy for me as well. Okay, that's it. Thanks for listening, guys. Take care.